Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be chatting with Lucie Novakova, who is the owner and operator of the 6 Foot Track, well, her and her husband, of the 6 Foot Track Ecolodge, situated on the Coxes River in the Megalong Valley. Lucie and I have become good friends in the last 12 to 18 months. We did meet around 5 years ago briefly, but yeah, reconnected about a year or so ago, and become good friends. So the reason I really wanted to get her on here to chat is because every time we speak, she always has some sort of new insight for me. I always learn something new from her, and there is quite a bit of that in today's chat for you to enjoy as well. She has a lot of tips and tricks in there. In addition to running the business with her husband, Lucie also has 4 children, or Lucie and Pavel have 4 children, all under 4. So the youngest, who are almost a year old now, are twins. So as you can imagine, Lucie and Pavel's life is very busy, be it the business and also running around with children. So a little bit about the Ecolodge. The Ecolodge is situated on the 6 Foot Track. The 6 Foot Track is about, I think it's from memory, about a 50-kilometre hike that you can do, which goes from Katoomba through to Jenolan Caves. And it can be a 2 to 3 day hike, so quite a lot of those hikers will stay overnight at the Ecolodge, and then there's another kind of camping spot along the way for the second night. They have 2 cabins. They're completely off-grid, but 2 cabins. Each cabin sleeps around 16 people. They do give them food for dinner, cook them a big, beautiful food. I've had it. Breakfast, and they'll pack them a lunch for the next day as well. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of admin involved with that, and organising guests, responding to them, etc. Yeah, so today in the chat, we are going to learn about what it's like for Lucie to raise such a big family, how she can possibly get any work done with the children around all the time. If she misses the corporate world, she has a corporate background, previously working at Deloitte in strategy. And if she has any tips for living off-grid. The Ecolodge has no electricity, no running water, and no neighbours anywhere nearby. Like, it's only accessible through one road, gates everywhere. So it's very cool. So I really hope you enjoy. How's it going today, Lucie? What have you been up to today? I know the kids aren't at school.
Yes, that's right. Wednesday's my favorite day. So it's pretty cold in Lithgow. I've been exercising a lot lately to keep myself warm and in good spirits. So yeah, with half an hour of Pilates classes, did 4 rounds of compound bow shooting at our backyard. Note, we have no neighbours, and we're facing a bush, so it's a pretty safe place to do that with no kids running around. Yeah, and then just catching up on bits and pieces. So yeah, pretty good day so far.
Do the archery when the kids are around.
Yeah, no.
Wednesday, is it?
That's right. Yes, Wednesday. If they're asleep and locked up in the house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'm pretty excited to have you here because you're a big inspiration to me, with tons of children running around your house and being able to manage a business at the same time. I also think it's pretty inspiring that you work in a business with your husband, which is very difficult, I imagine, for lots of people out there, but you guys seem to do it with ease. So I guess my first question for you is, how do you find working and managing a business with your husband? Like, do you have any tips for couples out there who are trying to manage and run a business with their husband?
Yep, definitely. It's not an easy task, as you say, and I'm lucky in the sense that the partner I picked for life is also a great business partner. And the main reason it works is because we have complementary skills. And the work we do is very broad. So I can focus on sort of my sweet spot on the computer side of things, which Pavel hates. So I do a lot of customer care, taking bookings, replying to inquiries. I do the bookkeeping and sort of the easy accounting side, organizing licenses and permits for the business. You know, everything sort of that Pavel finds very boring and annoying.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he's very good at physical work, so he's very fast and he sort of enjoys being on the ground. So he does a lot of maintenance and improvements work at the lodge. He looks after the guests when they are there. He does the cooking and also having a few drinks with them on, you know, Friday and Saturday nights. So it works quite well.
The hardest job of all.
Yeah, that's right.
A few drinks and making sure they're all happy.
Yeah, and look, sort of the tips. I think it's nothing new, nothing breakthrough. It's just over the years, because we've been running the lodge for 5 years, we learned to set physical boundaries. So in the first 2 years, we were open every day. So, you know, sometimes it was overwhelming having guests come every day, being ready for them, talking to them. And we just sort of, when we had kids, we decided we needed more space. We just needed the place to ourselves to sort of breathe and, you know, have weekends as well. And sort of last year, we took it to the next level when we moved away from our work. So now we live in Lithgow part-time. We have a 3-bedroom house, a beautiful 3-bedroom house that, you know, we're renting from you. And the second half of the week we spend at the lodge, so we have the best of both worlds, and sort of we go to the lodge rested, you know, and ready to see people and ready to sort of be without electricity and running water and just in the bush, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point you make. Like, I worked at home for like 3 years. I think I worked from my home office, and it's very difficult to, I guess, have that space to yourself and turn off work and then turn off home. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think, I'm assuming you think that that's a great idea so far and it's working well. I know definitely it's me getting to go to the conference now. Leave work at work is helpful.
Yeah, that's right. But, you know, it is hard. Running 2 households with 4 kiddos, but you know, everything has to be in balance, and there are pros and cons to everything. So yes, we sort of this is the better option, you know.
Yeah. So being so busy running the lodge and the business, how do you and Pavel, your husband, split up kind of the child duties, like with the 4 children? You've obviously got different schedules, going to school and feeding them, and you know. Look,
it's a hard one again, and we still fight about this sometimes. So the days when I'm with them alone for like half of the week, so I've worked things out by now, and what works for me is to assume 100% ownership of the children duty stuff, you know. So and if Pavel takes them, you know, outside for a bike ride, or he cooks for them, or changes a nappy, that's just a bonus, and he earns extra points, you know. Like, no, I have no expectations on him unless I ask beforehand. But it's still hard for me to, you know, to ask for help at the right moment. You know, I'm sort of a person that, you know, likes to push myself and be better at things. So, you know, sometimes it's hard for me to
hand over responsibility.
yeah, and also know the point when it's going to tip over and I'm just going to, you know, explode and get angry with everyone, and especially him. So, you know, yeah, this is a, you know, this is something that I'm learning to get better at. Ask for help before it tips over.
Yeah, I'm pretty awful at that as well. So I think as mums though, I do feel like becoming a mum has made it easier to ask for help. I would never have asked for help from anyone like very rare circumstances before becoming a mum, but I think becoming a mum puts you in that position where if you don't ask for help, then you will break down, you know. So yeah, you're mostly responsible for the admin side of the business. Do you ever do any of that when the children are around, or are you quite good segregating those two parts of your life?
Yeah, look, I learned from failed experiences, and like not to try to do any work when they're around, because it takes longer. I get irritated quicker, and if I'm with children, I just give them 100% attention, and then I mean, they're gonna go to sleep eventually. So I'll have those 2 hours at night to do the work if that needs to be. So yes, and look, I think my consulting background helped me a lot. So I'm a lot quicker at things, and I look for ways sort of to improve the work I'm doing. So I'm always seeking for automation, or even improving website and online booking forms, so I get less emails, and everything goes straight to the beds being booked, and people just come without having to talk to me, or concerning something by email. So yeah, so that sort of helped me a lot as well.
Yeah, I really liked your term there, failed experience. I learned from failed experience. I like that, and I'm going to use it.
Yeah, look, it's one thing also what sort of helps me on sort of on emotional level, or is I keep this I call it the problem solving diary. And sort of that is because my mind is a lot clearer if I put things on paper and don't think about it too much. I might include pieces of wisdom from my friends, or pieces of sort of some nice quotes from books, and then sort of think about my problem on paper. It can be, how do I deal with a misbehavior of my child, or I haven't done a uni course on how to bring up a child, so I sort of think about that problem and write down few sort of steps what I need to do differently, to feel better, and to make sort of my family feel good as well. So yeah, so that's sort of one thing that helps me as well.
How often do you write in there?
I think I'd need to write in there every day, but yeah, weekly. Yeah, I make it a habit to do it weekly on different topics, and then I go over the old topics and add on to them. Yes. Sorry.
You might have to teach me how to do that.
Yeah, pleasure. I will.
A podcast earlier this week, and they were talking about reflection, and how you can't learn anything unless you have a chance to reflect on it and then understand the learnings from that experience. That's what reflection does. And I know in myself and in our busy lives all the time, that reflection piece has got somewhat lost. So it's really great that you're able to do that, and I think that's something I personally would like to do more of, is the actual reflection and how do I learn from my experience.
That's right, and I think it's always easier to blame, other people. It's a child not behaving like you'd like it to, so so it's a naughty child. But what if it's a relationship problem between you and the child? So sort of you, as you say, you need to reflect on yourself, so to be able to deal with it well. And clearly, objectively, right?
Yeah, exactly. Is there something about running your business that you find the most challenging?
Look, I think running my own business gives me lots of opportunities to work on fun and exciting challenges. But when I only had 2 children, it was manageable. but I was sort of putting them on the back burner because I was sort of looking for these things in the job, but not in being a good mom. You know, how do I? So now with 4 children, I focus more on, you know, okay, I do my job, but I see the opportunity to sort of make it, you know, a fun and challenging experience bringing the children. So I sort of refocused. So that was the biggest hurdle for me. So let go of the job because that's very stimulating. You know, you get immediate sense of achievement because people are happy, or you know, you set your own goals. But you know, it's a whole another level with, you know, bringing up 4 children.
Yeah.
And sort of making it a happy experience for them and you as well.
Yeah.
So I focus more on that now.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you mentioned earlier, you have a bit of a background in corporate strategy. So you used to work at Deloitte, which I think we probably met. You mentioned previously when you were working at Deloitte, but I don't think either of us remember that. We were working with my common friends, which is great. Very crazy. Is there anything you miss about the corporate world? Like obviously now you're in a, you know, lived for 5 years in a completely off-grid environment. Like it's complete opposite to city corporate life. Now I guess you're a little bit more urbanised in the small town. But yeah, is there anything you miss about that?
Yeah, look, I used to think I'd miss the mental challenge of solving big problems for clients and, you know, developing other business, you know, other sort of budding junior colleagues. But I realized that if you want to be a good mother of 4 and be there for your partner, that it's way more mentally and physically demanding. So at the moment, I don't really miss anything from the corporate world. My time management skills are better than ever. My negotiating skills are better than ever. So it's application of improvement and automation frameworks. But yeah, I think that there will be a time, sort of when things ease off, children go to school. That, you know, sort of I will look for maybe another career path. Yeah, sort of outside of the off-grid environment.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the decision to move. Like, what was there something like what happened for you to go? Okay, I'm living in the city. You were living in the Northern Beaches. I'm living in the Northern Beaches. Okay, let's move off grid. And yeah, talk me through that decision. How did that go?
Okay. Yeah, look, it wasn't really a plan. I actually very much enjoyed what I was doing at Deloitte and our life at, you know, in Northern Beaches. I did my master's in corporate sustainability, and Pavel's background is in conservation and land management. So we just knew we didn't want to settle in Sydney when we wanted to start a family. We wanted a big piece of land and no direct neighbours, which is obviously, you know, not possible in the middle of Sydney. So when the opportunity came to us, we knew this was, you know, meant to be, and we just went for it and bought the Ecolodge. My mother and most of my friends and colleagues thought I was a lunatic. I lost many friends as a result because we lived remotely and the place just didn't resonate with some city lovers. There's no Wi-Fi, no cafes. Sort of you're just there in the bush with yourself. But yeah, I think I've never regretted moving to the bush, you know, and making such a big lifestyle change.
Yeah, that's great. I know, like I've been to the lodge, and I know when I have been there, I think it's taken me a little while to like kind of acclimatize myself, if you like, to being there. In the, you know, your mind has to kind of think differently or something. Like you've got to get in a zone. Like I don't know. Like when I first get there, I kind of like I've got to be really busy. I've got to do something because that's what you're used to. And it's almost like a meditation, if you like, to get in that place where I don't need to check my phone because it doesn't work here. I don't need hot water. I can boil the jug, all of those things. But I find it's very, like I said, it's kind of almost like a meditation. So, I guess in that way, I guess I can understand why it's so appealing to you.
And look, it took me half a year to get used to it, and I sort of had a good transition of being in Sydney for during the week, so working for Deloitte and coming to the lodge only on the weekends. Right. So it did take me half a year to sort of adjust to that environment, you know.
Learn how to switch off. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand it can be.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah, it can be, as you say, it can be pretty challenging. Be there just with your thoughts, just you and your thoughts and no distraction.
Yeah, that's right. If there's anyone listening who is maybe working in the corporate world and they think, I want to change that, I want to change my lifestyle, I'm not completely happy here, do you have any advice for them?
Yes. So, and this is again from experience. I think if you are in that situation, just do an attitude check. Because it's easy to think the grass is greener on the other side, but really it's greener where you water it, and it takes a consistent effort. So in my 6 years at Deloitte, I also went through ups and downs, and only when I put my best sort of into the job, face the fears of not being good enough, and build good work relationships, genuine work relationships. Only then I struck and loved the job. So, and then it was really easy. So my advice is to sort of do an attitude check. Are you really putting your best foot forward? I find that now with the opportunities we have and sort of the insights we have into, our friends' jobs or into sort of the possible jobs we could be having, with our view is a bit disillusional, so we think, the other jobs might give us better opportunities, but really, the job you have now might give you really good opportunities going forward. So yeah, so that's my advice.
I like it. Yeah. So anyone listening might hear a little bit of an accent. Like, I don't really hear it anymore, to be honest. But your husband and you are both from Czech Republic, raising your children in Australia. I guess, do you miss your family, I guess, is the first question. And secondly, what kind of tradition, is there anything you're doing at home, like traditions or cultures that you're trying to pass on to your children? Like, I know you speak Czech with them, so...
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we speak.
Like, what do you do?
So we speak Czech to them, and they watch Czech cartoons, sort of to maintain the level of proper Czech. And what we like, we have no real traditions that that are different to Aussie traditions. But something that we'd like to teach them from young age is cross-country skiing, because both Pavel and I love it. It's a bit challenging. Here there's near Lithgow, there's snow once per year, for maybe 2 hours before it all melts. So that's something that we need to work on, and visit snowy mountains when the kids are a little bit bigger. But, yes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and so is there anything you miss about, like, when you're living here in Australia? Is there anything you miss, or do you think you're going to move back?
I always say we'll move back when we get sick of the nice people and the nice weather. I don't think that's going to happen.
Nice weather. It's about
the nice people. Yeah. I just back to the people. I just like the way Aussies are. They're very informal and positive. Czechs are the opposite. They're very formal and can be quite negative. So plus it's, you've got a beautiful country here and with so much natural heritage and, worth fighting for. So we're happy we can be part of it as citizens now.
Any sentences or reflections from your special book that I'm going to ask you to look at when I see you next? Share with us.
Look, the latest one I've been dealing with is about not holding anyone responsible for how you feel.
Oh, that's a good one. I need help with that.
Yeah, if you feel overwhelmed, it's because
owning your own thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, that's right. And like not blaming anyone for it, and sort of that will give you a lot more freedom, I think. And you have more control over your life that way because you're not relying on other people. So that one has been, that's a theme of the week for me.
I love it. Before I leave you, there's one other thing I wanted to mention. The other day I saw a TikTok video of Mark Wahlberg. In his house, he has a cryogenic chamber to do the cold water thing, but in an actual chamber, which is, it's supposed to be good for your skin or something. I know you were doing that in the freezing cold river near your lodge. Have you been keeping that up?
No.
But Mark Wahlberg says you're supposed to do it.
No. I just take freaking hot showers in our Lithgow house. That's what I've been doing lately.
Fair enough. I'd agree with that. We're basically in a cryogenic chamber right now in the freezing cold Lithgow.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Being in all the time.
Yeah. But the insulation coming, yeah?
That's right. It is coming. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I've had so much fun and really appreciate it. I had lots of fun.
Yeah, no, me too. Like you.